Hello, it is Tina Clark, computer teacher, and today is June 25th, 2020, and today we are going to be talking about Internet Searching and Credible Information Part 3. So here's my playlist on our YouTube channel, and before you watch this video, I want to make sure that you have watched the first video, Internet Searching and Credible Information, that's number 1. And I want to make sure that you're watching part 2 also. So watch those 2 before you watch this third one. We are going to pick up where we left off. And in part 2, we left off right here, where we were talking about opinion. And prior to that, we were talking about, how to determine what kinds of sources are reliable and credible and which ones are unreliable or not trustworthy. I'll just review that briefly and then we'll go on. Reliable and credible information means that it is trustworthy and written by people who are considered experts. Unreliable or not trustworthy information means that the authors do not have a good understanding of the topic or that they have some bias or agenda. They might be trying to sell you something or just give you their opinion, or they might just be trying to sway you toward their way of thinking. And we looked at kind of an old website. Another thing to look at is if the website itself is looking kind of old, and if it's not being updated, then it would not have updated information. And then we also went through some questions to help you decide if information is credible. Did the information come from a school or government organization? Who is the author of the information, and what knowledge or skill does the author have in that topic area? Are you able to verify the information on at least 2 other websites or reliable offline resources? And we did a search about the Beagle, and in the last video we talked about how to find good information and how to determine what information is good on that topic. Please watch that in the second video. Let's move on. Another question you can ask is, does the information use language that is free of bias and not trying to sell you something? Another question is the author just giving an opinion? And here is a website called Time for Kids, and Time for Kids is a good website. Time is a magazine that has news, and Time for Kids is specifically tailored for kids and has, more simplified language for news. And they have a specific section of their website on opinion, and they were asking different questions and opinions that people could give. Should cars be banned in cities? Is social media good for society? Should students wear uniforms? Well, this is clearly an opinion page. It says opinion right here. And if it says opinion, then you probably should not be using this information as fact. If you were to make a PowerPoint about cars and the effects of cars in cities and too many cars, you wouldn't want to be using this opinion section from Time for Kids as fact. These are just opinions from people, answering the question, should cars be banned in cities? So it'd be okay if you read about it, and it would be okay if in your presentation you indicated what people's opinions are, but you should not be taking something from this and stating it as fact, because it's just an opinion. It's just somebody's thoughts and ideas on the matter. So that's an example of an opinion website. Let's keep going. Okay, this is a lot of text, but let's get through it. Some examples of sources that may not always be credible. Wikipedia. Of course, when you do a Google search, Wikipedia is one of the first things that shows up. Well, Wikipedia, it's great and everything, but it is a site that allows anybody to give information. And there are people who monitor the site to take out uncredible information, but like it says here, there are many errors that might not be noticed right away by the moderators and might not be changed for a long time. So while it's a good source of a lot of information, it may not necessarily be a credible source for like writing a paper or doing a PowerPoint. Of course, then there's YouTube. If the video source is not from a professional or credible source, it can lead to misinformation being spread. Then there's Facebook. Facebook is just a social media site. Many unreliable sources get leaked into these feeds and then spread around quickly. Many opinions can be shared that are just opinions and not based on facts. Yeah, and a lot of you have Facebook and you read all kinds of things that people share. Well, if someone shares something and you click on their site, on the site that they shared, go back and double check. Check other websites to see if they're saying the same thing, because it could just be one of your friends just sharing their opinion or a bias about something. So Facebook would not be a good site to cite information from if you're doing a presentation. Twitter is also another social media site. Anyone can put false information that can spread around rapidly. And I give my own source right there from that webpage that I got this information from. So here's an example in my own life here. I might use YouTube to read reviews about things to purchase or how to fix something in my house. So I am not going to use YouTube if I am doing a presentation about, let's just say, washing machines. And I want to give a presentation about how does the washing machine work and what are the best washing machines. I will probably not be using YouTube to get facts, because there's a lot of videos out there that washing machine companies would put out touting that their washing machine is the best. But I could use YouTube just to read reviews if I want to purchase a new washing machine. Or maybe I want to know how to fix my washing machine and try to be brave and fix it myself. I would not recommend that to you guys that are watching the video, but some people will do that. So you might not want to be using YouTube for factual information. One thing that you could do is, if you find a good video, you could do a web search that kind of examines those same facts and see if you can find those same facts in other sources that you found on a YouTube video. So be careful of YouTube. Okay, here's some more things to look for. The author. Look for an author and see what type of experience they claim to have related to the subject matter. And we did that when we were searching out the information about beagles. We learned that the author of one of the websites actually had a business degree, which is great, and she kind of just liked dogs on the side. But is she really an expert? Not really. Date. Is the date on the website recent enough for your purposes? Sources. Where did the website get their source or get their information? If the website says they're getting their information from Wikipedia or one of the other sites I talked about, I would say don't use that information. Domain. If a site ends in .edu, it is from an educational institution. If it ends in .gov, it is a government site. .org is nonprofit and .com is business. Depending on what you're looking for, you might not want to use a .com site to give you factual information if they're trying to sell you something, since that's .com is business. Always verify the information with at least 2 other websites. Site design. Does the website have outdated graphics with an old design? Here's an example. This might be a great place. This is called Pacific Northwest X-Ray, and it looks like a place that sells X-ray equipment, some sort of equipment. But if you look at the site, and maybe they're a credible place, I don't know, but this website is old, because back in the old days when websites were first being made, basically you would choose a background and then just type in text. I mean, they do have a little bit of a flashy graphic there, but it does not look nice and new with like nice menu buttons up at the top or down the side, or videos, or, you know, different photos that kind of scroll and things like that. It looks very old. They could be credible. I don't know. You would have to call them up and find out. So I'm not going to say that this company is not credible, but this is just an example of what an outdated site might look like. So be wary of that. Okay. Writing style. Poor spelling and grammar are an indication that the site might not be credible. Okay, so down below. Would you trust a website that has spelling and grammatical errors? Look, I just kind of typed this in to give you an example. If you went to a website about dogs and you saw this right here, it says, "We are the dog experts." Oh, that's a bad spelling error. They did not spell experts right. "We give excellent care to your dog." Excellent is spelled wrong. Your is spelled wrong. Those are bad spelling errors. And if I went to a website and saw that, I would question whether they're experts, because they're not taking the time to spell check their website, and that's pretty sloppy. So look at the spelling and grammatical errors. And if you are unsure about spelling and grammar, have an adult help you. Okay, so what we are going to do here is, this is getting a little bit long, so we won't take a lot of time here. I'm going to go to this website called The Dog Island. Is this website credible or not credible? Let's take a look. It says, "Free forever, Dog Island. Send us your dog." Your dog's name, your email, how many dogs are you sending? Why do they want people to send their dogs? What is this place? What is this place? Well, it says Dog Island is a complex, a small complex of islands. And just for sake of time, I did read up on this site, and they are claiming that you can send your dog there to live forever, and he can be free, he or she can be free to live a natural life. And that they would just keep your dog forever, and that they should have a natural life instead of like maybe living in an apartment or living in a house, that they could just go to this island and run around. And we could take a lot of time here to look around. Photos. On the way in a luxurious dog crate. Looks like they're bringing in dogs from the boat. I don't know. Yeah, there's pictures. Well, what else? Visits. There are 3 days of the year that visits are allowed. This is a beautiful and magical day for the people who have given their dogs a better chance at a new life. 3 days a year you could visit your dog? Well, what else? What else is on here? Give statistics. How many big dogs? How many medium and small dogs? 2,500 dogs are enjoying a better life. This just doesn't sound right. Have you ever met anybody that has told you that they sent their dog to Dog Island? I haven't. I've never even heard of it until, well, I found this website looking up for fake sites. That's the only way I found it. So it is a fake site. But if you just read up on things, does it make sense to you? Do you know anybody else who might be doing something like this? Well, I also checked on it. And let me see here if I can find what I'm looking for. There are places that you can go called fact-checking websites. You can go to different websites and check and see if something is fake or not. Now, this is a lot of stuff here. Some of these fact-checking websites can also have biases, but Snopes, it says Snopes is independent and nonpartisan, meaning that they're not having a specific bias toward politics. You can go to Snopes, and let's see, I did that already, so let me get to that. On Snopes right here, you could type in, is Dog Island real? And I did that, and let me see if I can, bring that up. I typed in, is Dog Island real? There's a picture of dogs. Okay, so the claim. A sanctuary for dogs is maintained on a dog island off the coast of Florida. Well, Snopes is saying that is false. It's giving the origin of it, but it says that it is false, and it says it's a hoax. Right here, look. The Dog Island site was a hoax created by students as a project for a contagious media class. Now, I'm not going to follow that, but that's enough for me. I mean, I question, I don't know anybody that would send their dog to Dog Island. Why would you give up your dog? You can give your dog a happy life. And I went to Snopes and looked it up, and Snopes is also saying it's false. And that's enough for me. You know, I could do some more checking and see if there's other websites that say the same. But this is just one example of a fact-checking site. There are others. We won't go into all of them. All right? Okay. I think we're going to end the video. It's getting long. So in a future video, we're going to take some more websites and evaluate them and see if they're fake or real or credible. So for now, I'm going to sign off, and I will talk to you next time.